G'day everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Yowie. We've had a hell of a time this morning, I tell you what. I've been out here for 3 hours now. There was wrong turns, there was creaks, slips, breaks. But I've come to settle on this spot. Today our intention is to set up camp and put our feelers out in the area. See if we can entice the interest of the Yowies that are nearby. Now I say the Yowies that are nearby because this, where I am today, right now, not only is it ley line compatible, I guess you could say, it is also smack bang in the middle of 3 sightings that I'm aware of. Now I don't like to give away my locations, but I'm about smack bang in the middle of 3 confirmed Yowie sightings. So they are absolutely in this area. The place I'm in right now, well, it's kind of ugly. Let's just be blunt, it's not really attractive. But there is fallen trees everywhere. And I've kind of set up right in the middle of them. So there's distinctly one of 2 possibilities. There's tree breaks everywhere, and if you extend this way, this way, this way, or this way, there's none. It's only here. So one of 2 things are going on in this area. We have boar infestation, or we have Yowie activity. I'm hoping we get something out here today. Time will tell. Stay along for the ride with me. Don't go anywhere. So I may have already mentioned that this location is not randomly selected. It is absolutely in Yowie territory without a shadow of a doubt. There's tree breaks everywhere, and let me just explain to you what's going on here. I don't want to say it, but I'm pretty sure these trees got borer. But just as a matter of ticking my boxes, I just want to describe what I've got here. Let's turn the camera around. We've got numerous tree breaks right there. I see 6. And just to the left here we have more tree breaks. And if we follow them down, they continue around our site. We get to this little interesting formation here. Those trees have been placed there. This one, the 2 that form that lower X have been placed there a while ago. There's vines growing around them now, but they didn't fall in that position. We've got more tree breaks through there. And if we keep continuing around to our left, now we'll pause here. Obviously back in the day there was some logging through here. There's a few chainsawed trees that are no longer standing. We have that. It's a continuation of the structure, it's all connected. We have that right there, which is leaning into the Y of that tree. We've got more interesting breaks up here. Now if this is not borers, it's significant. I think I've already said it. If it's not borers, it's Yowies. A lot of breaks. And not a lot of continuity with the surrounding area. I don't see a lot of breaks in the immediate area except for this area right here. So again, let's just cover our bases. It's boring, but I believe it's borers. But borers or not, that does not diminish anything with this site. It just means that the structures that I'm in don't have any seemingly true significance. I've started looking around the trees in the area and I am 90% sure we've got borers here. We got the ash looking stuff, the sawdust, looking stuff on the trees, and I've even found some telltale holes in the trees. Now, as I'm looking around for borer evidence, I found this. I hate being so rational because it really spoils the fun sometimes, but check this out. Now that definitely looks like something's taken a bite or a big scratch or a crunch out of a tree. Even looks like it's been peeled down. It really is interesting, but I know what it is. Good old black cockatoos again. I believe, I don't know for sure, but it would go along with the story of borers because what they do, they hang onto the tree and they hack away, and they try and get into the bark and they strip it, they rip it off. They're quite powerful when they do it. And they get to the bugs inside. They can split a tree like this and knock it down in half. Yeah, I think we got black cockatoos and borers coming together to create a perfect storm of this site. It's a bit disappointing. Now we are searching for Australia's Sasquatch, right? That's what this series is all about. So let's just say something right here. Let's not debunk entirely. If you were a Yowie and you were hungry. Now, from our previous investigations, we've had information come to us to basically say that the Yowies are opportunistic feeders. They will take what they need and leave what they don't. There was no indication of a set diet. Now, if you're wondering where the heck I'm pulling that from, go back and watch my Yowie interview videos. There's 3 of them. And that will give you some idea of where I'm getting these ideas from. Now, if you were a Yowie and you knew there was bugs en masse in trees like this, you may just try and crack the tree open and get to them. So I'm not saying it's an absolute write-off, but I am saying we're going to call it as it is. Because I keep saying, if we keep calling it like it is, then the day something does happen, it'll be worth its weight in gold. So at this point, I believe we've got borers and black cockatoos or hungry Yowies wanting a quick snack. Now, given as borers, this is probably a dumbass place to camp. Good thing we're not getting much wind today. But it's all good. Plenty of areas to explore. In the middle of Yowie country, there is no reason to think that just because these trees aren't what we want them to be, that there's nothing here. No reason to think that at all. So the series presses on. The series presses on. Alright, so I just totally crashed out for an hour. Just sitting in the seat, just zoned out. I think half meditation, half sleeping. There's a lot of trees down here. Like I can't even get through. A lot of trees down. I'm not sure what to make of that. I'm going to say it's a borer infestation. Okay, this could be looking promising. That is a big ass asterisk. A big asterisk. That's pretty good. A big asterisk. It's a natural cluster of trees, but none of them have particularly lost their tops. You can see their tops on all of them. They're dead trees, on the most part, but you can see their tops. So then, where did all this stuff come from? Well, look over here. There's one tree snap there, one tree snap there, one tree leaner there, and there's this tree that leans in, and there's this tree that really strangely breaks twice and then goes into it as well. Really strange double break up there. And then we come down and there's a big X over that tree, like, and a whole bunch of stuff weighing it down to make sure it sticks in. Now you could say, and one of those trees actually that is in that break is this one. And look, I think this is black cockatoos again. It's been well and truly eaten away, shredded away. And then if we go up to the top of it, peeled back, you can see there's a hole through the trunk, which is where the grubs would have been, and they've eaten at it so much that they've broken the tree. Or something else, of course. So this is an interesting formation for sure. Let's go in a little closer. Oh, it's busy up there. You got more trees leaning in up the top. You know, if this was about chain reaction of energy and those kinds of things, you could easily argue that all these additions and trees leaning in are simply ways to get the energetic chain reaction going and making it a bit more powerful. Alright, this tree goes all the way in and we can get a really good look at the break. So there's trees leaning into this left, right and centre. I can't quite see it as well as you're going to be able to see that, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell from here. Very interesting structure though. I'm very interested in what we're seeing here. And just to make a point of it, I've searched around the this interesting structure, likely natural, but you know, who knows. I've searched around it and there's no footprints, no hair samples, no signs of presence at all. It's very Xy, isn't it? More horizontals here. Huge gum tree down over there. I didn't know what the hell I was saying. We're going to be heading back shortly. We're going to lose light soon, but we just want to push just a little bit more. I just want to push just a little bit further. Right next to that tree I was looking at. It's a very tall tripod. I doubt the camera's going to pick it up. Could be natural. Alright, I'm going to head back to the site. It's getting close to night time. On the Yowie front, certainly some interesting structures around. I really want more than structures though. Structures are so almost anecdotal in nature. They're so unreliable unless they're absolute screaming beauties. You know, I just don't think you can hang your hat on structures. Now I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about it. This series could very well, this isn't, look, okay, let's cut to the chase. This isn't, what was it called? Was it Finding Bigfoot? I think it was Finding Bigfoot, a recent series that came out, and they basically used statistical data to kind of pinpoint in the most ideal Yowie location, given a looking at, you know, all the Yowie sightings, the time of year they are there, etc., etc. And they picked these sites and they went out. But the thing is, to me, to my eye, that was so obviously actors acting to a script, trying to make, you know, like a real documentary style series, but it was scripted. I'm almost certain it was scripted. So you can have a really good climax, you know. They don't take it too far, they keep it within the realms of reality, but there's a script and there's a guarantee of excitement. In this series, let's be honest, there isn't a real guarantee of excitement. We could keep doing this and getting maybe not tree structures, maybe not this, that, maybe not this, that. And there's no guarantee of anything. So I don't know when this series will eventually reach its end, but it will. And hopefully with some awesome piece of something happens, hopefully. Until then, we enjoy the journey, we enjoy the ride, and I'll tell you what, the sun's about to crest that horizon as I speak. Nice. full moon's causing the night to be quite bright, really. I don't even need my light on to see what I'm doing here, which is very good. There you go. Just in case you miss seeing my beautiful face. So not much going on here, it's very, very quiet. Just sitting by the fire and just relaxing, really. It's very quiet out here. Haven't had any activity, really. It's a beautiful night, really nice. If I get away from the cold, if I get away from the fire, it's quite cold. But otherwise, it's a really nice night. The fire's burning strong, keep me nice and warm. Just sitting here in the quiet. I forgot the clap sticks at home today, so I couldn't do that, but that's okay. Just looking up at the full moon is very relaxing. Was that just a tree knock? Don't think so. And again. There is a breeze though, so it could be trees knocking in the breeze. Alright, so unless there's something to report in, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. See you then. Good morning, guys. On the good news, bad news front, we had no Yowie activity to speak of whatsoever last night, but had a very good night's sleep. I don't know. Felt very alone out here. I don't feel like there was much going on here last night. Have another area to explore this morning, and then I hit the trails and get out of here. It's quite the walk back to the car. I had a really, really good meditation last night. Now, when I do meditation out in the bush, it's not for relaxation purposes, though it is really nice and relaxing. It's to try and get a connection going. And there was some success with it. My mind wandered some interesting places, but nothing that I would consider communication or anything significant, but my mind definitely went wandering visually. So overall, this feels like another reconnaissance mission. The search for the home base continues. I don't know, this one doesn't feel like the spot. Hey, here come some black cockatoos. I can see them. How awesome is that? That was cool. Anyway, it's breakfast time. Alright, breakfast has been done. The old morning smoke in the eyes and runny nose. Anyway, I'm leaving camp and I'm trekking off in this direction. I haven't checked it out yet. It's my last hurrah to find something significant on this trip. It's been a bit of a quiet one. I'm not too happy about that. So let's head off and see what we can do. Asterix? I don't think so. We got another potential asterisk there, but I'm really not sure what to make of that one. There's a few down trees leading up to it, and a few randomly inserted thick branches. We've got some tree breaks leading into it, so it's quite a big structure, all things considered. It's all the way from this tree break here through to the core and all the way around to the left here. But I'm not entirely completely convinced. We'll move on. This is an interesting one. We've got a tree break there and a tree break all the way through there, and they're all leaning up on top of this tree here. It always takes me as unusual that when there's a tree break, there's always a bunch of tree breaks. I'm having trouble finding singular tree breaks. And look at this. There we go. An A frame. What is that horizontal tree? It's just there. It's not part of a tree break. It's just there. That's interesting. Alright, there's some activity down this part of the world. There is some activity here. What else can we find? I saw some mystery holes before. Worth mentioning, not worth showing. They're just holes. Nothing too exciting. But just to document that they are there. Wow, yeah, this area is very, very... It's disaster zone. I don't even know what to make of it. There's so many down trees. I don't know if this is just natural, man-made, maybe the result of some kind of extreme weather event. And look at all the down logs through here. It just feels like it's another dumping ground for logs. We'll venture down a little further. Now look at this. This guy's just sitting in the middle. Yeah, this is a little weird. The thicker all this gets, the weirder it gets. Why is all these trees down here? Why are these trees down here? Oh, look at this. Just a huge broken tree. Just leaning into that fork there. I mean, how far do you want to go with it, you know? I mean, how far do you want to assume things? That's the question. I mean, look, it's very clear through here. It's like return to normality. That could be a mega site. No, it's nothing. Yeah, well, I should have camped down here. This is nice down here. Look at this. These two do not belong here. Both resting between that fork, similar sizes, creating a clear X. That's really interesting. See how big they are? They're gonna weigh a ton. Look at the clean snap. This is where I should have camped. Straight up, this is where I should have camped. Feels so open. We've walked around for a while now and there seems to be more of the same like this. That super thick and broken section through there was very unique. I'm going to head back through there because the rest of the place seems quite normal. And now seeing it in this context makes me think, you know, makes me think. Right, it's time to head back. An interesting area. I don't know if there's any major structure here. There's a lot of potential structures. A very good X with very oddly placed logs just up there a little bit too. Alright. Okay, let's head back. I'll film on the way back anything of importance. And here's that X from the other side. It seems like they are the same piece of wood, but they've been broken down that end, and the end, which, see this tip here? That should be all the way at the end of this log, hanging out into space, and if it broke, it should be lying down on that hill there, facing down the hill. But something seems like it's picked it up and wedged it up in this direction. They are definitely from the same tree. And that's not in the ground over there, that's rotted at the base, but there's no root system or anything near it. And the fact that it's gone through a fork of a tree adds a little bit to it. I know it's a very simple structure, but that's a really nice structure to me. And I'm telling you, this area feels different. It feels nicer, if that makes any sense at all. Just has a nice feel to it. I really should have camped there. I want to go back and camp there now. Maybe that's a secondary destination in this place. You never know. Alright, let's keep heading back with the sun peeking through the trees. These trees are just, they're old. They're very, very old, but they've just been ripped out by the trunks and just chucked down here. I'm not going to put it short of being man-made because some of them are clearly cut. So I'm going to say 90% man-made, but it's just very curious that these are fully uprooted and just dumped here. I wonder if this is part of a clearing project. I wonder. Clearing trees for other reasons. Okay, so that'll wrap it up for another episode of Yowie finding Australia's Sasquatch. If these things were easy to find, they would have been found already. That was a moderately successful trip in that there was some interesting structures, some curious patterns in the woods, but unfortunately not quite the action that we were hoping for from this location. So the search continues. The search pushes on. We will find the spot. It will happen. It absolutely will happen. This may not be the one. Although there was that spot further down there that was quite nice though. Feels a bit dead through here. An old head scratcher. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you got any places in this general area, the Wadigans general area, do let me know. Until next time, it's bye from me. See you guys. Thumbs up. Take it easy. Ciao.